The Astros pregame show presented by Toyota. Gorgeous day downtown Houston at Minute Maid Park, May 25th, 2022. 28-16 Astros hosting the 18-21 Cleveland Guardians. This is game 3, of course, of that 3-game series, tied at 1 apiece. If they can win tonight, the Astros win their 8th series of the season. Welcome in. I'm Vanessa Richardson. That man alongside me, of course, is Mike Stanton, and that offense last night, especially the middle of the lineup, the Astros did some damage.
Yeah, you know, in game 1, well, we'll just say they didn't do it very well, the whole team. But last night, they were kind of clicking on all cylinders, and the offense really showed up. They drove the ball out of the ballpark. They got pitch counts elevated, put some pretty good swings on some pretty good pitches, and scored some runs. They
really supported from Valdez, of course, and like you said, game 1, the offense not firing all cylinders. Last night, it was a different story, a big bounce-back night for the offense.
Yeah, Jose Altuve and Jeremy Pena, who we'll talk about a little bit later, they both had multi-hits, 2 hits each. Bregman with a big 2-out double, and then Tucker with the big swing. 3 RBIs, 3-run home run in the 5th inning, and it was just nice to see these guys put crooked numbers on the boards, put those quality at-bats together, using the whole field, doing what we know this team can do ability-wise. They just haven't been real consistent with it this year, so hopefully, we've said it before, here's Tucker with the big 3-run homer. Hopefully, this is something they can build off of, and we start seeing more consistent at-bats on a nightly basis.
You can't really talk about the Astros offense without talking about Jose Altuve. And since coming off the IL on May 2nd, the Astros are 16-4. He is clearly such a catalyst for this offense.
Yeah, so early in the season, he was really struggling. I thought the timing was off. He wasn't, you know, he looked like he was pressing. Really didn't look like he was having a whole lot of fun. But since coming back, it gave him not just a physical break, that trip onto the IL, it gave him a mental break, and he came back in we saw the smile again, in just a much better place mentally. Timing was better. He was healthy now, and now all of a sudden, he has been an absolute beast since he's come back off the IL. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the Astros' record has been as good as it has been since he's been in the lineup.
And Jose Altuve, by the way, is 1 home run away from tying George Springer for 5th place on the Astros all-time homer list.
Hey, listen, he hits a lot of home runs, hits a lot of leadoff home runs, and we've seen that already in this series. So, you know, it's inevitable. He's going to do it. George was a great player, but George went somewhere else. So the face of this franchise is Jose Altuve and will be for a long time.
Let's take a look at the Astros lineup for today. The thing that probably stands out the most, Diaz is in for Pena. First appearance of the series for Dubon, and then Siri is back as well.
Yeah, so this is a good lineup. This is a lineup that should score some runs. There should be some quality at-bats. And hopefully the guy that is highlighted right here, Alex Bregman, you can get him hot with the other guys in this lineup. He is good enough that he makes everyone around him better. And so hopefully we're seeing him kind of come out of the little mini slump he was in.
All right, coming up on the Astros pregame show presented by Toyota, we are taking a longer look at that man, Jeremy Pena. That's next.
And by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
The Astros hosting the Guardians tonight at Minute Maid Park. There's Alex Bregman, of course, taking some BP. Fans filling the stands here at the Juice Box. The Astros prepare to take on Cleveland. All right, we can't talk about this Astros offense without talking about one of the most exciting players in the entire league right now, which is Jeremy Pena. Not just one of the best rookies, one of the best shortstops in all the majors.
Yeah, he's really been outstanding. And I think what has, I don't want to say surprised me, but you know, it is just his consistency. I mean, he's done a really nice job. Yeah, he's had some offers here and there, but I'll tell you, he puts a consistent pass on the ball. He has an idea of what the pitcher is trying to do to him, so that means he goes into every at-bat with a game plan, you know, and then his ability to put a swing on the ball when he does get a mistake. I mean, it's not really as easy as Jeremy Pena has made it look.
Well, here's Julia Morales, who talked to first base coach Omar Lopez.
You're out here.
Repetition and reps and ability that the body's already used to.
Well, we talked about his offense and how good he has been, and you have to look at these. These are among rookies, but you can almost just transport this over to overall shortstops because he's leading in a lot of those categories. And the power, we knew the power was there, but it still baffles me that this guy had less than 30 days in AAA last year, and he's putting up numbers like this in his first 2 months as a big leaguer. Pretty remarkable.
It's really easy to focus on Jeremy Pena and how good he's been on offense, but he's been pretty killer on defense as well.
Well, the consistency goes both ways, and you know, his maturity level is off the chart. And the reason I say that is because we've already seen him not take his offense onto the field. Even when he has a bad at bat, you don't see it show up defensively. And he's been nothing short of great defensively, making all the plays. He's had a couple errors, but hey, everyone's human. For the most part, I mean, he has been as solid as anybody in the league at shortstop defensively.
One of the most exciting players in the league by far. All right, coming up on Astros pregame show, we're going to take a look at the Cleveland Guardians. That's next.
Gallery Furniture. If made in America is important to you, shop Gallery Furniture today.
All right, I got to tell you, the pitching staff has been awesome this year, but I know Astros fans would love to see that guy back.
Yeah, it's just great to see him using that right arm to throw a baseball. Now, we still don't have a time frame on Lance, even when he's going to, be on the mound, space hitters, anything like that, much less a return. But it's good to see him throwing the baseball and on that road to recovery.
33 games in 34 days. That is a lot of baseball. That has been the situation for the Astros. They end that tonight. And Mike, it's a lot, but they've played outstanding baseball.
Yeah, so this is the 33rd game in 34 days, but in a way, they probably don't want to see it end, just simply because they've played so well all the way through this stretch. I mean, we've heard some scuttlebutt about them being tired or whatever, but other than a game here or there, they really haven't shown it. And to go 22-10 in a stretch like this would be one of those situations that you highlight on the schedule and you say, okay, let's go 500 through this stretch just because you're playing so many games without days off.
There are a lot of teams around Major League Baseball that would show lethargy. The Astros, like you said, really haven't, and Astros manager Dusty Baker is very proud of that. And it has been a grind for the Astros. Here's a look at their upcoming schedule. They have 3 Thursdays off. 1 day off the last month total, Mike, but they have 6 days off this next stretch.
Yeah, it's well, thank you very much, Major League Baseball, for the schedule. But, when you're playing, to go back to what I was saying, when you're playing as well as they have played, off days aren't always looked at as a positive because you don't want to get out of any groove that they have been. Now, the offense, yeah, it's been hit or miss, but the pitching has been outstanding, especially once they went to that 6-man rotation.
All right, coming up on the Astros pregame show, we're going to take a look at our pitcher tonight, Christian Javier. That's next.
Lock Solutions, H-Town's favorite precast concrete provider. Lock, leading precast.
Welcome back. Some Wednesday night baseball, game 3 of a 3-game series. Fans, of course, coming into Minute Maid Park to enjoy the seasonably warm evening. We got tonight's Sonic matchup. Let's take a look at our starting pitchers, Cal Quantrill and Christian Javier.
All right, Cal Quantrill, we'll start with him. Not a hard thrower, throws the ball firmly, but almost 85% of the pitches he's thrown this year have been either a sinker or a cutter. But I'm not completely sold he's going to do that. We've actually seen these guys, the Guardians, change their game plan against this Astros team. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what his pitch mix looks like. Now, Christian Javier on the other side, his versatility has been a godsend to Dusty Baker and the Astros, whether it's in relief or in the rotation, which is where he really wants to be. It doesn't really matter. The fastball slider mix is outstanding. It's one of the best. The slider is one of the hardest pitches to hit in Major League Baseball, any pitcher, starter or reliever, and he does a great job of moving the pitch around. If he has command at the top of the zone with the fastball, he's going to have a good night. And usually, Christian has command up the top of that zone.
Julia Morales spoke with Astros pitching coach Josh Miller.
All right, just get out. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
You know, that's really good news about Jake Odorizzi, only because you got to remember, it was not an arm injury. So it's going to be fascinating to see exactly what the program is going forward, if this is something that he needs to go on a rehab assignment, or if he can just go straight back into a Major League game pitching.
All right, coming up on the Astros pregame show, we're going to take a look at Mike's keys to the game. That's next. Welcome back to the Astros pregame show. 7:10 first pitch. The Astros, of course, hosting the Guardians tonight. Let's take a look at that Cleveland Guardians lineup. A killer 3-4-5 with Ramirez, Miller, and Naylor.
Yeah, and they've actually swung the bat pretty well, especially Jose Ramirez. We've talked about him ad nauseum for Astros fans over the last few days because, well, guess what? He's actually that good, and he's hurt the Astros. So, yeah, you're going to have to really concentrate in the middle of this lineup.
You got to talk about that at-bat last night. 12-pitch at-bat off Framber Valdez.
Here's the crazy thing. It was a 12-pitch at-bat, and he threw 11 strikes. Only one ball. Unfortunately, the last strike he threw ended up going out of the ballpark. Now, watch where all of these locations are. One of the things that a hitter you're trying to do is just foul pitches off until you get a mistake. There were very few mistakes up until the home run pitch, which is coming up here in just a second. Yes, it's just pitch after pitch. But he makes a mistake with the fastball, he being Fromber, right down the middle, 97 miles an hour. But after all these pitches, Jose just simply does not miss this pitch, drives it out of the ballpark. Now, the good thing for Fromber is that he actually didn't let this fluster him. He kept his concentration and actually ended up pitching very well for the rest of the game.
All right, it is time for the Toyota keys to the game. Mike, what you got tonight?
All right, the first one, we touched on it just a few minutes ago with Cal Quantrill. He throws a lot of sinkers and he throws a lot of cutters, but he also throws a four-seamer, a changeup, and a curveball. I think he's going to use those other pitches a lot more because about 85% of the pitches he's thrown this year has been either a sinker or a cutter. Now, Christian Javier on the other side. We just talked about Jose Ramirez. Yeah, the dude's good. We know he's good. We saw the crazy at-bat just a second ago. Just execute your game plan. Whatever it is, just stick with it. And if you walk him, you walk him. But don't give him that cookie after a whole bunch of pitches. Now, Fromber didn't try to throw it down the middle. He just eventually made a mistake, and Jose was able to capitalize. So really work on executing your game plan, and don't be afraid to go ahead and just put him on base and let somebody else try and beat you.
Would be nice for the Astros to finish this 34-day, 33-game stretch with a win tonight.
Yeah, it really would. Go ahead and finish this series off with another series win, which would be their 8th series. You know, it's been a tough stretch. They got a lot of off days coming up. One tomorrow. They are traveling to Seattle, but it's been a good run. Let's just keep it going, even though you got off days coming up.
Off days for sure. All right, the Astros taking on the Guardians next. Todd, Jeff, and Julia have the call. The Astros postgame show presented by Whataburger. The Astros winning 2-1, taking the series against the Cleveland Guardians. They get some rest after 33 games in 34 days. Some high fives among the guys after a great win and great series. And like I said, getting some much needed rest after a lot of games. All right, we're going to go to the field now. We're going to go down to Julia Morales, just catching up with Jose Siri.
Thanks so much with Jose Siri.
Oh, thanks for joining us. That's Mike Stanton. I'm Vanessa Richardson. This, of course, is the Astros postgame show presented by Whataburger. You heard the Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell saying it. This was all about pitching.
Well, that's what it's been a good portion of the season. The pitching has been really what's carried the team. I think we are seeing the offense come around a little bit tonight. Ran into a pretty tough pitcher in Cal Quantrill, but I'll tell you what, Christian Javier, he matched him pitch for pitch. Actually, he did more than matched him. He beat him. Let's take a look at those starting pitchers. You mentioned Cleveland starting pitcher Quantrill. Christian Javier, that fastball tonight was just mean. Yeah, I'll tell you, we're going to start with Quantrill. He was very good. Now, we talked in the pregame about watching what the pitch selection was. He didn't change anything. Most of it was his sinker and his cutter, and he just did not give in at all whatsoever. Did throw a few changeups, but you see, not a whole lot of strikeouts. Actually had more walks than strikeouts, but did a nice job of working his way out of trouble a few times, and a lot of help from his friends with only 3 strikeouts. Christian Javier, great tonight. 5 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 9 strikeouts. That tied his career high. Yeah, this might have been the best fastball we've seen Christian Javier have this whole season. And that's saying something because his fastball is usually pretty good. He went 5 2/3 innings, so really didn't go that deep in the game. Right. He had 20 swing and misses in tonight's ball game. I mean, that is an astronomical number in just 5 2/3, and 12 of those was on the fastball. So everybody knows he's going to throw a fastball, he's going to throw a slider. But these Cleveland Guardian hitters, they just could not get on top of the ball. 12 swing and misses on the fastball, 8 on the slider. The only problem with that is he tied his career high again with 9 strikeouts. The only problem is when you have that many strikeouts, well, your pitch count goes up. And so he wasn't able, got in a little trouble there in the 6th inning. Stanek came in and helped him out, but he wasn't going to go much further because the pitch count was so high. You talked before the game about how good the 3, 4, and 5 positions were tonight for the Cleveland Guardians, yet they couldn't get one off of Javier. Why was that? He just made good pitches, and that's really what it is. Pitching is a lot like real estate, location, location, location. And, Christian Javier, the high fastball is paramount, and he was on point with it all night long. There was only one hard hit ball off of Christian Javier all evening. He was spectacular. Let's take a look now at the Astros bullpen. I think Montero might be one of their best weapons, but this is a great group of guys. Well, Montero's been there all season long, and he really has been very quietly one of the best relievers in all the sport. But, the bullpen, we talk about the pitching staff, how good the pitching has been all season long. These guys go along with the starters. Somebody's got to finish the game. Nobody's going complete games, so somebody's got to come in. And it's good to see Ryan Presley, throwing the ball well again, because that sets up everybody else. But the whole bullpen, from Stanek all the way to Presley, all 5 relievers did a really nice job. 2-1 win. That is not easy to do, to hold a 1-run lead for a good portion of the night. Blake Taylor was just a little bit shaky. What does he need to do to improve? Well, listen, you're going to have days. But bottom line is, he did his job. He got out of the trouble he needed to get out of, held the Cleveland Guardians down to just the 1 run. So, it's just one of those things. Nobody's going to be perfect every single night. But if you can just work your way out of trouble, do your job on your bad nights, then you're going to look really good by the end, because on your good nights, you're going to dominate. And a great win for the Astros. We'll talk about it more after the break on the Astros postgame show. Stay with us.
At Whataburger, and by Crawford Bach, always in season. Carbach Brewing.
Welcome back. Let's check out our Whataburger Whataplay tonight. It goes to none other than the man that Julia Morales just talked to, Jose Siri.
I really like Jose Siri. I like the energy that he brings, and I also like the skill set. Love to watch him run the bases because he is very fast and he's aggressive. We've also seen some big pop. He's hit some of the longest home runs the Astros all season. Just someone that kind of plays with his hair on fire, and I kind of like that aggressiveness. I think he's got a chance of being a real player in this league.
Mike has talked about, I can attest to, loving Jose Siri, thinking that he has a shot at being a superstar in this league. Why is that?
It's just the way he plays. I love the aggressiveness. I love the attitude. I love the energy. And like I said, the skill set is awesome. He really has a chance of doing anything he wants if things work out the way, well, the Astros and Jose Siri want them.
He's definitely got great energy. All right, let's hear from Dusty Baker.
And then go on to the next hurdle. Okay.
Coming up on Astros postgame presented by Whataburger. More to come.
Partner of Major League Baseball. And by Ford. Ford vehicles are built for Texas to be the best in Texas.
Welcome back to the Astros postgame show. We'll show how we got here in a minute, but first let's take a look at the box score. Astros winning 2-1 tonight.
Not nearly as busy as we saw last night, but just good enough for the 2-1 victory. And they were able to do it, well, in ways that we don't see the Astros do it a whole lot, and that's with sac flies.
Let's go to the 5th inning. Uncle Michael Brantley with the sac fly here.
Gets on top of a fastball, does exactly what he's trying to do. Yeah, he would love to get a hit in this situation. Get it to the outfield in the air with series speed. It's going to be a sac fly. Did exactly what he was looking to do.
And then we go to the 6th inning. Wouldn't you know it, another RBI sac fly. This time it's Jason Castro. Believe it or not, Mike, his first RBI of the season.
This was actually, you saw the reaction after he swung it. He thought he should have hit this ball out of the ballpark, probably, but good to see Jason get his first RBI. It's been a long time coming now. Yes, it is June. It seems like a long time. He hasn't played in all that many games, so we're going to give him a little bit of break, and he's done a great job behind the dish. So that's his real job anyways.
All right, let's send it back down to the clubhouse and hear from Christian Javier. Coming up on Astros postgame, we're taking you out to Sugarland for a look at the Space Cowboys. That's next.
New Southern Bacon Burger Double, here for a limited time at participating locations. And by H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
Welcome back. It's time to go down on the farm. This is our Gola Mazda Down on the Farm segment. We're going to take a look at Pedro Leon.
23-year-old Cuban shortstop having a good season. You see the batting average is a little low, but his on-base plus slugging is OPS 874, and you can see why, with 23 of his 37 hits are actually for extra base hits. So for extra bases. So he's done a really nice job of driving the ball. He's a guy that has a lot of upside, only 23 years old. Yes, he's playing shortstop, but he keeps playing well. Well, guess what? You'll find a place for him.
All right, coming up on the Astros postgame show, we finish it out with taking a look at the upcoming road trip. That's next. Welcome back to the Astros postgame show. All right, these guys do finally get a day off, and then they head to Seattle for a long road trip.
Yeah, they're actually heading to Seattle tonight. They're going to get there early in the morning. That's so they can have a full off day in Seattle, and that will hopefully give them a little bit more rest. They have more than earned it, 23-10 through this stretch of 33 games in 33 games in 34 days.
All right, let's take a look at the starters for that series against Seattle. The ace, Justin Verlander, of course, back on the mound on Friday.
Yeah, well, the Seattle Mariners team, they actually lost tonight against the Athletics in Seattle. They've actually been a little bit of underachievers this year. This is a 90-win team last year. They are 18-27 with the loss tonight. Justin Verlander, been one of the best pitchers on the planet, and he has dealt against the Seattle Mariners. We'll see if he can continue that dominance.
One thing I like that Dusty Baker said in his post-game presser was, yes, we're not going to be as tired, but when you get over one hurdle, you're going to have another one. This is another long road trip. What do these guys have to do to keep the energy up?
Just keep playing. I mean, this is Major League Baseball. You play on a regular basis. They actually get a few more off days than we had in the past, but that doesn't matter. You whatever the schedule says, you go out and play, and if you're going to play, hey, you might as well win.
All right, coverage, of course, will resume on Friday. Like we said, Justin Verlander on the mound. The guys on the road again. Thanks for tuning in. For Mike Stanton and the rest of the AT&T Sportsnet Southwest crew, I'm Vanessa Richardson. Have a great night.